It was so overreaching in every aspect of what we did. It was a completely new animal for me, and I had to make a real fast adjustment. As a matter of fact, I've spoken to a lot of us that are in the business already, and even for them that didn't take any time out, it's unbelievable. We had
how did it continue to doing your job?
The drapes that you have behind you.
Yes.
Basically this black. Imagine 40 of those in a truck. They had 2 trucks dedicated to just framed black drapes. I don't know, did anybody see us on the streets or on location anywhere in town?
Yeah.
Well, everywhere we went, we had these black drapes.
What was happening with these black drapes?
It would contain the set. And our cast came to set either with a phalanx of bodyguards around them with umbrellas, holding up umbrellas, guarding literally a circle of black umbrellas in a circle with the person walking in the middle so that nobody could get a picture. Coming out of a van that had blacked out windows as they arrived at the set.
Okay, great. It's like a witness relocation program.
That's exactly what it was. Now, what was interesting about this too is that, and I have a theory about this, and of course the people those of you that are from Summit, forgive me for a second, I'm just going to talk about the plan that you guys have. Yeah, exactly. The reality, I think, is that it was interesting. One day somebody said, oh, I saw you on the internet. Our person that was in charge of this, it was called containment. That was what it was on the call sheet. This person was in charge of containment management or something. And wonderful guy, makeup artist as a matter of fact, came to us and said, he came to me and says, that day on set where you were, where you were wearing the green raincoat in the parking lot? Sure. I was trying to make sense of the question. He said, well, when did you take the raincoat off? What time of day did you take the raincoat off? Yeah. And it had to do with, at a very particular moment, there were a number of series of photographs that had been taken by paparazzi. Way off in the distance, with that really long lens, that I was so jealous of because they could never afford one. But they took a picture of me of I guess, Robert and Kristen on set as we were doing some work around some park bands by the school, by the high school. Although we were way off in Queen Elizabeth Park. And there were some pictures of me in a raincoat. And it was interesting because they were trying to time out when the paparazzi had been there and when the photographs had been taken in the shooting day, so that they could figure out where the gap in their containment had been. Now that was the front. My theory, of course, is the behind the scenes stuff. This is going to make the Summit people squirm. My theory is that, of course, there was a little break in those black containment drapes, and if you used your GPS to find this particular coordinate at exactly 2 o'clock, you'd have a nice clear shot right into the sun.
This is nuts. This is just crazy. This is like spy satellites looking for doors to be opened over like in Area 51 or something.
Yes.
That's
well,
crazy.
My crew that's here, am I wrong? And
This here?
great fun, yes.
Let's acknowledge your crew. If you worked with Charles on Eclipse, would you please stand? 1, 2, 3, 4.
What's that? Oh, and we had a blimp that got a helicopters. Oh, it was amazing, amazing. And so that was the reality that we were working under every day. And it got to the point sometimes where it was pretty ridiculous. But I really truly think that Summit in their, again, arguably in their brilliance or not, managed that so well. And whether those paparazzi and those magazines pay money to Summit, this is a company that's making billions. They're very, very commerce driven. I would not put it past them that the paparazzi shots are very, very well managed, sold, approved previously, and it's done just like any other publicity setup. So think about that twice. This is really, truly. I mean, it's a theory that I have, but it's been borne and backed up by many, many practical.
It makes the job harder.
Much more. How?
And then interrogation from the paranoia department or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning it was hard because you weren't used to that way. You can't walk this way, and you can't go that way, and you can't just walk the set with your cast and makeup. I mean, we've done a lot of shows over the years. I've done a lot of shows over the years where, there might be a special makeup on somebody you want to keep under wraps. So the person, wears a hood, like a bathrobe and a hood. You for a few days at least, maybe you try to cover it up. But this was something different. This was all the time. This was everybody all the time. And so there were issues where the getting to the set sometimes was difficult. It had to be timed. Everybody had to go together in rides in advance. And it was, I think if anything, where it became difficult for us is that here was a cast who, it was their third film for some. Most of them had a 3-picture deal. They'd made 2 movies already. And those 2 movies were done fairly close together. Some of them went off and did other films because, of course, their career has been picking up very, very quickly because as a result of these pictures. And so they were exhausted, starting the 3rd picture. And they were making the same amount of money they made in the first movie. So these were issues that compounded by this whole constant containment issue became sometimes, I think, exhausting for our cast.
It's a little emotional baggage.
It was emotional baggage that was sometimes brought into the trailer, and that I think, if anything, that was probably. Although I have to say they were all very, very professional. And once you hit that pitch, once you hit that note, everybody's working together, and it becomes a little bit, you know what's going on at that point. So within a few weeks, we kind of hit that place where you kind of knew the deal, you knew the game, and you played within the rules, and everything was fine. You forgot about it.
So being the paparazzi are shooting, and you're picking out your wardrobe, what you're going to wear for the day, going in. Are you picking it out now, knowing that they're going to shoot you and put you into the funny papers there?
Yeah, well,
wardrobe choices based on the paparazzi.
I never quite got to that point. I think I'm sort of past that.
Well, I've got a couple of questions for you.
These iPads,
We'll run out.
Yes.
There's one in here, and I'll get to it. They want to know, yes. They want to know about the contact lenses that the vampires were wearing. Where did you get the lenses from?
Christina Surratt, who works with Vision Care Associates in Los Angeles. Terrific job. Did the second film? I can't remember. I think they did. But we did a little bit of a redesign with some of the lenses. I should make it clear too that a lot of the work that we did on the 3rd movie, we had such a great crew. And if did any of you see New Moon?
Yeah.
I think New Moon, the makeups in the first movie, and this is the fault of the makeup artists. There were some challenges to that film. Low budget. There was a very funny driving force in terms of how they made that movie. They had to work fast. There was a number of different things going on. And it was very disparate. There was a lot of, from what I understand, script changes and that kind of thing. There was editing issues. There was color timing and balance issues. Things were changing. They were developing the characters. So, they'd shoot 2 weeks with the makeup and then decide to change it and try to implement it.
Contact lenses.
Yeah, I get that.
I want to really.
So
I got a bunch of questions.
Okay, gotcha. It changed. Norman did this great work. We had 2 movies under our belt. How much change could we actually do? And that's sort of what drove a lot of what we did in the makeups and in the contact lenses. We wanted to change them to be more technically controllable in terms of the different lighting conditions. Desaturation processes, for example, as well. Christina Surratt, Vision Care Associates. We have a whole new lens that we did for a group of characters called Newborns. Almost Volturi, which is the vampires with the really red eyes. But that's what
I want to run through these and give me little short soundbite answers. I'll try to get everybody in there.
Okay.
At what moment did you realize that you had made it to the big time?
Have I made it to the big time?
I think you did.
I think, boy, to be honest with you, that's a question that I don't think I've ever really sat down and approached it in those terms, because I think the second you think that way, you become contented and you start to slow down and you stop to quest. I've had issues with being motivated sometimes. This can be a very difficult business. It can be difficult on yourself, it can be difficult on your family. If anything, I think where I felt really, really good about a picture that I did, I had such a great time on Eaters of the Dead with Jeff. We had so much fun. And I think one of the reasons that I felt the way that I did is that, coming from a time where movies like pre-CG, that was just as CG was starting to come. Also Jumanji with ADI and Barry was on that picture.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Working on Jumanji.